couple of A-Sun unbeaten squaring off tonight as the Liberty Flames welcome in the Jacksonville Dolphins. And we welcome you inside Liberty Arena for what should be a great basketball game here this evening. Alongside Paul Naskin, I'm Matt Warner. We take a look at the A-Sun standings at this point early in the conference season. Liberty, you expect to be near the top, if not at the top, the three-time defending A-Sun champs. But Jacksonville, preseason picks to finish 10th in the A-Sun, 3-0 in the conference, 11-4 overall. Paul Naskin, I'll ask you, how have the Dolphins exceeded the expectations thus far?
Yeah, they've done three things. Number one, they got a new coach.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, the hire of Jordan Mincy has been a home run. Number two, they got new players. In basically a roster overhaul, coach has brought in a lot of good players, but here's the thing. He says they're guys of character that he can build a program around. And number three, they got a new identity. This team has embraced the defensive end of the floor. Right now, Matt, they're the #1 team in the country in scoring defense. Those three things have enabled this program to be off and running in the right direction.
Yeah, the defensive job they have done this season has been remarkable. They have not allowed 70 points in a game yet this year. And given Liberty's traditional good defense as well, we could be in for a low-scoring slugfest tonight. We shall see. And we are underway here in Lynchburg. Liberty controls it. The Flames coming off a win at FGCU on Saturday. A game in which Darius McGhee scored 48 points. Quickly they go inside to Vincent, lost the handle. McGhee gets it back, corner triple up, too strong. So McGhee with a quick attempt.
Yeah, nice little set play out of the tip there. Got Vincent on a nice little curl cut. He just couldn't handle the pass, or that would have been an easy lay-in.
Dolphins had a close win themselves, defeating North Florida 54-51 Saturday. Feed inside, the lay-in up and good for Osai Osifo. Liberty starting five. Flames have grown accustomed to seeing this group out there. Darius McGhee leading the way. Shiloh Robinson has also been a revelation for the Flames this season. The junior has had a breakout campaign. They whip it to him in the corner. Spots up for three. That's too strong. And the Flames come up empty on their first couple of possessions. Jacksonville not afraid to shake up the starting lineup. They've done that a number of times this season, but Keegan Nolan is perhaps their most electrifying scorer. Here they go back inside to the big fellow Osifo, and he gets it to fall. So two quick buckets for the redshirt junior. The transfer from Florida off to a fast start.
Yeah, very athletic. Looks really good defender as well.
McGhee stepping back, three ball, that's off the mark. Well, listen, Jacksonville, you talk about their defensive effort this season. They have locked down basically everybody they played. You talk about even when they've gone and played Power 5 programs. They played Minnesota earlier this year. They gave up 55 in that game. So this is what they have kind of turned this program into, a stout defensive group.
Yeah, even if they haven't won games, they've dictated pace by the way they play that defense. Again, something that's not unfamiliar with this Liberty program as well. So both teams that really have the guts and pride to really play it on the defensive end.
Jordan Mincy saying, listen, you bring in all these new guys, we'll kind of figure out the offense as we go. If we can be good defensively, it'll keep us in a lot of games. And that strategy has paid off for them so far. We talk about the 11-4 record.
Yeah, and that's a hard job to do. Convince guys to come to your program to play the defense.
Robinson gets in the lane and draws a foul. So Shiloh will head to the line. On the other sideline, Richie McKay, what a job he's done for the Flames. 3 straight A-Sun championships. And as Liberty off to another strong start this season. In fact, in those 3 straight A-Sun championships, Liberty's also been the best scoring defense all 3 of those years. So they're not used to looking up at somebody else in the A-Sun when it comes to that category. Let's see if they can stress that Jacksonville D here tonight as they put their first point on the board. Keegan Nolan handling the basketball. They get it to Marsh, back to Nolan. A lot lot of roster turnover. Nolan not one of those guys. They do have some good pieces back for this squad. As he hit the nice soft right hand up and in from Mike Marsh. He's one of the JUCO transfers on this team.
Yeah, really big kid, strong, big body. You see him there going to work on Kyle Rowe down in the paint. Got him sealed in there deep. Can't let that happen.
And Zant has it on the wing. Gives it to Kyle Rowe. It's a curling McGhee, kicks it out. Now Robinson trying to go to work. 8 on the shot clock. Working on Osifo. Corner 3 coming for Rowe. That's off the mark. So Liberty struggling from downtown to begin the ball game. 0 of 4 from deep.
Yeah, good patience, good ball movement. That's a shot Kyle Rowe can hit. Has hit.
Darius Davis gives it up to Nolan. He'll launch the 3. That clangs off the rim, and Darius McGhee pulls the rebound. Kyle Rowe, cross-court pass. They get it to Vincent, no hesitation, he'll launch. So no one with the hot hand thus far from long range for Liberty. As a slow shooting start for the Flames, has been trailing here in the early going. Remember, Liberty had some struggles in the first half at FGCU Saturday. They trailed by 9 at the break. Before they open the second half on a 13-0 run, they kind of take a lead that they would hold for much of the second half. Step back jumper is pure. Tyrese Davis, the redshirt sophomore out of Kansas City, with his first bucket. And Liberty's going to have to dig themselves out of an early hole.
Yeah, Davis, another holdover, was not one of the guys that is new, and he's a name that's familiar. Great player, good scorer.
That did everything but go down. But Zant hustled to get the offensive rebound, then just lost the handle. So a turnover gives it back to Jacksonville, and it has been all Dolphins early. They lead it 8-1, thanks in part to 4 early points from Osifo.
This presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Foster Fuels, Turn Up the Heat, and by Carter Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Well, what does 48 points look like? For Darius McGhee, it looks like another day at the office. If you can have a nonchalant 48, that's kind of what he did. He made it look so easy. It was a Liberty program record. Most points scored by a Division I player this season. Most scored by an ASUN player in an ASUN conference game in the conference's history. And you take a look at what he did there, passing Bailey Alston, who has the record for MAC in '88. Just an incredible performance. And not only that, Naz, this wasn't against, with all due respect to Carver College.
Right.
This was a game the Flames had to have on the road when every point was crucial.
Yeah, it was well, they're down at halftime by 9.
Yeah.
And then, they have to make the comeback, and it's a 1- and 2-possession game that whole second half. It was a huge game at a big time. So, I mean, just Darius, he could do it when the lights are the brightest.
Flames could use a little offense from Darius or anybody else at this point.
To be honest, Matt, I wonder a little bit about some flatness coming off a performance like that. It is not uncommon.
Blake Preston has checked in for Liberty. First time we've seen him in over a week. He was out due to COVID protocols and battles, and gets a piece of that ball before Darius McGhee snatches it down.
Yeah, really great D by Joe Van Zandt right there. I mean, Kevion Nolan was trying to break him down every which way and just could not.
McGhee stops, starts, got to the rim, couldn't finish, still loose on the deck, and Jacksonville will come away with it. So McGhee got a decent look around the rim, just unable to convert. Workman gives it up. Osifo looking inside. Now Nolan has it on the right wing. Gives it up. Osifo, the jumper. That's off the mark. And Blake Preston will pull the rebound. Neither of these teams look to run a lot. Both, in terms of tempo, they really slow it down.
Well, when you play defense like that, you need some time to recoup, get your legs back under you. So, not surprising that neither team really wants to run.
Lob inside. Blake Preston lays it in.
Yeah, great having Blake back. I really thought tonight would be a night with Jacksonville's size that he could come in and be impactful, and he wastes no time. Nice catch and finish there by the big fella.
Yeah, we'll see just the endurance, how much he can stay out there on the floor, having missed the last week. But a good start for Blake as that pull-up jumper goes through. Jordan Davis with his first bucket. A grad student transfer from Middle Tennessee. An interesting mix of players on this Jacksonville squad, but what a job by Jordan Mincy to make it all work thus far.
Yeah, getting them and then getting them to play together and buy in.
Take a look now at our impact players presented by Foster Fuels. Naz?
Well, for Jacksonville, a guy who we've already talked about, Kevion Nolan, number 3, just a great player. He is the engine, Matt, that really makes the Dolphins team run. Great two-way player. I mean, he can score. You see his numbers there, but he loves to break down and play D as well. He can blow up, too. He's had a game high this year already at 25. And for Liberty, Shiloh Robinson. I mean, there's been so much talk about Darius, but Shiloh has been so solid. 8 out of his last 9 games in double figures. Shiloh's playing great defensively as well.
Turnovers, Blake Preston throws it out of bounds. As Shiloh kind of underrated performance against FGCU. 7-7 from the field.
Yes.
Normally that's headlining the game article, but not so when a guy scores 48.
Yeah, he's been so steady, getting better every game, getting more confident every game.
Boy, talk about confidence.
Yeah.
Look at Bryce Workman just go right into the chest of Blake Preston for the bucket, and it's 12-3 Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville bigs are something to be reckoned with.
Blake now trying to answer at the other end. Pump fakes a couple of times, gets it to fall. So Preston, the only Flame thus far to make a shot from the field. He's got 4 points.
Yeah, nice patience there. Took some body contact, but regained himself. Nice little baby hook.
Powell in the ball game now, gives it up. Looking inside, they go to Marsh. Double team comes. He had the smaller McDowell on him.
He wants it right back. Okay, there's the double again by Liberty.
Good pass out of it. Open look from beyond the arc. It goes down to beat the shot clock. Tyrese Davis with the triple.
Really good patience by the Dolphins, man. They went twice into the post, didn't panic, skip pass out, and Tyrese Davis makes him pay.
Flames go right back inside. Preston again going to work, lost the handle, another turnover, and Jacksonville, a team that has had no success against Liberty over the years, 0-7 against the Flames in this series. They are not backing down. They have been the aggressor here in the early going, and they are out to a double-digit lead.
Yeah, they have really gotten post touches. They feel that's an area where they can take advantage of Liberty, and they have.
Darius McGhee shifting gears, getting to the rim for 2. That gets this crowd into it.
Yeah, nice recognition. Everybody was so guarding the perimeter. Darius knifes in there, straight down the lane.
Flames need to find some stops on this end. Workman looking inside. Gets it to Marsh. Driving in on McDowell. Whistled offensive foul. Keegan stood in, took it right in the chin, and able to draw the offensive foul. That'll get us to a timeout, but it has been all Dolphins early. The big fellas at Jacksonville putting in some work. They're out to a 16-7 lead. All right, now it's time for the keys to the game presented by Larry's Tire and Auto. How do you see this one?
Well, it's not often that I make an individual player a key.
Almost never.
But you can't, I can ignore it no longer. After Darius's 48 the other night, listen, if you're the Dolphins, you have to limit Darius McGhee. All night, you got to hound him, you got to chase him, hug him, but you cannot let him go off because he showed the other night what he can do. So far, Jacksonville's done a good job that way. And for Liberty, you got to defend ball screens. Listen, this Jacksonville offense will run a lot of ball screens off the bigs for penetration, or as we're saying, then the bigs will dive to the block, and they like to feed those guys after they've set some ball screens. So it's going to be imperative that Liberty defend those and then get to the block and play tough defense. But right now, the Jacksonville bigs have the upper hand.
Yeah, Jacksonville 8 of 12 from the field to begin this ball game. McGhee handles the rock, gives it to McDowell. He'll catch and fire, banks it in. So not exactly how he drew it up. A smile on his face as he makes his way back down the court. He was scoreless on Saturday, so he's just glad to see one go through.
Yeah, and other guys are going to have to step up because you know Jacksonville's got their eye on Darius McGhee all night long.
Powell on the wing, looking for the big Osifo. Driving, lost the handle, and he gets bailed out. A foul going against Shiloh Robinson, his first. Osai Osifo, 6'8", spent his first 2 collegiate seasons at Eastern Florida State Junior College, and then last year he was a Florida Gator. Played 20 games, averaged about 2 points a ball game. That rims off. With more on another one of the Jacksonville bigs, let's check in with Emily Austin for the first time.
Yeah, guys, Coach Mincy really locking in his team during that timeout, but the note to take away is Mike Marsh was grabbing at his left thumb pretty bad. Looks like he was in a lot of pain, kept putting his hands above his head, so he's not in the game right now. We'll keep an eye on that for you.
Yeah, has the ice pack, it looks like, on that thumb.
Yeah, I saw that. It was when Blake Preston was backing him in a couple times, and that second time, I think his thumb got jammed as Blake backed into him. He ran down the court holding his hand, so we'll have to watch that closely.
Yeah, that could be big. Marsh off to a good start in this game with 4 early points. McGhee stops, pops, and hits.
Man, just open for a split second. Powell was all over him, but it don't take much, Darius. Big time shot right there.
Just like that. Yeah, 4-point ball game. McGhee starting to warm up a bit. Flames have knocked down a couple of triples now. Whistle underneath, another offensive foul. This time Shiloh Robinson gets decked in the paint.
Well, Bryce Workman was trying to get himself to the block, and he basically just ran Shiloh Robinson over.
The Flames starting to get some defensive stops. Here's another look. Yep, they'll call that. A lot of physicality in the post early in this ball game. Kyle Rowe gives it to McGhee. No hesitation. Whips it to Micaiah Abee. He's now trying to back down the defender. Didn't see coming from behind him. Nolan picks his pocket ahead to Osifo, who flushes with 2 hands.
Yeah, I don't know if there was communication there or not, but Micaiah's got to be aware of his backside there. Good pickpocket by Kevion Nolan. He almost averages 3 steals a game. 7
points for Osifo already as Peebles drives, kicks, McGhee again, bang! Another triple, and he's warming up. 8 for McGhee. And this crowd starts to get into it as well. Listen, he had 41 in Hawaii. He had 48 at FGCU. This home crowd saying, give us a little bit of that here tonight.
Taste. Number 2.
With the mid-range jumper, that's a little strong. McGhee pulls the board. His 4th already here tonight. And a foul called as Nolan trying to slide in front of Darius McGhee. It'll be number 1 on Kevion Nolan. You know, initially, Naz, at the beginning of the season, we said, you know, Darius McGhee having to handle the ball more, boy, that could be a detriment. I feel like now he's more dangerous than he's ever been, maybe, because the ball is in his hands more.
Yeah, and then you just can't go up into him because he's too good. He can just blow right by you. So, yeah, when the ball's out of his hands, he's a little bit you're able to cover him a little bit more.
And he's fouled on the 3-point attempt.
Yeah, he came off that screen, and Jordan Davis was chasing him. Darius, nice job. You kind of hang that his shooting arm up in the air, draw the foul.
With more on Darius McGhee, we'll check in with Emily here in just a moment. McGhee at the free throw line. He was 8 of 8 from the stripe on Saturday. And the first one goes through. Emily?
Yeah, guys, we talked with Jacksonville head coach Jordan Mincy at shoot-around this morning. How do you slow down Darius McGhee? And he goes, I don't really know if you can slow him down. You just have to try to give him different looks. Dynamic scores at the top of everybody's scouting report. Watching film on him from FGCU, there's no stopping him, guys. We just got to try to stick to what our identity is.
Well, so far, there hasn't been a lot of stopping him after the first couple minutes of this game.
You're not going to. You just want to limit him, bother him, just try to get in his head if you can, and just try to make him feel like all night long we're going to hound you.
McGhee checks out with 11 points leading the way. We're all knotted up at 19. This crowd's starting to get into it. Jordan Davis working on the bigger Shiloh Robinson. Now kicks it out. Nolan pulls up for the three and silences this crowd.
Tough shot. He had Shiloh right on him, contesting that shot.
Nolan, preseason All-A-Sun member.
Yeah, really good player.
Now a three ball, pure on the other end. Keegan McDowell with his second triple of the night.
Nice to see Keegan coming alive. Keeping the defense honest.
Liberty has made its last 7 field goal attempts. Jacksonville 6 of their last 7. We were told these were 2 elite defenses, but it's been the offenses in the past few minutes that have gotten warm. Workman spinning, too strong. Rebound tapped out and corralled by Van Zandt.
Well, we've seen some big shots. Certainly Darius. Keegan's hit a few.
Brody Peebles feeds the cutting. Shiloh Robinson for 2.
What a shake and bake dish by Brody Peebles.
Peebles with the handles and then the delivery on target for the lay-in.
Great finish by Shiloh Robinson. Great teamwork right there by Brody Peebles with the dish to Shiloh Robinson.
(24-22) Liberty leading, 6:57 to go in the first half. There's a look at that Jacksonville defense this season. The job they have done, not just, the 54.5 points per game impressive, but they are also so good at limiting teams from beyond the arc. And they're also not listed there. They're second in the ASUN in steals per game as well. So they really do a fine job defensively. Although in the last few minutes, Liberty's gotten the better of them.
Yeah, you saw that, averaging 17 points off turnovers. That's a way to turn that great defense into offense. But hey, we didn't say these teams couldn't shoot now.
Right.
We just said they love playing defense. But lately, both these teams have come alive, gotten hot shooting. Both teams really hitting and made this game really exciting.
Osifo knifing to the rim. Good job by Shiloh Robinson to deflect it, knock it away. And then that is an ill-advised foul on Osifo.
Yeah, a little frustration foul. Great hustle by Shiloh Robinson to recover. He showed out here on that screen and got back, got the deflection. Caused a turnover.
7th foul on Jacksonville. A poor decision anyway, but especially considering we don't know the status of Mike Marsh going forward. And so you're going to need Osifo to be out there on the court as much as possible.
Yeah, and then he just did a lane violation, so Van Zandt will shoot this one again.
It's that one to fall, one more coming.
It was like that one, you're ready to shoot it, and you see the guy leaning, so you just hesitate a little bit more till he falls in, and then you get a kind of a free play, like an NFL free play kind of thing.
Zandt gets that wide base
really
on his free throws, and that one
sometimes I think it's a little too wide that his shot gets a little flat, like we saw. He shot 3 shots right there, 2 of them hit the front of the rim. I like him to get a little more bend in his knees from the free throw line. It's physical out there, Matt, I'm telling you.
It is.
The bodies are flying. When you run into a screen out there, you know it.
Powell gives it to Nolan. Evian Nolan with just 3 points, takes a little contact and able to pick up the foul on Kyle Rode. Rode not so sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's always tough for the big guys when they're just going to war in the paint, and then you come out on the wing and you get a little tap, and they're like, you're like, wait, do you see what we're doing to each other down there?
I mean, look, we got Workman in there. He's battling.
Keegan McDowell snatches it away. Good game thus far for McDowell.
Yeah. He's taking a charge. He just intercepted a pass right there in midair. Hit a couple threes. Keegan is locked in.
Kyle Rode, little hook over Osifo, gets it to fall.
Again, I like Kyle Rode has to be an offensive threat. He's got to keep the defense honest. He's a great passer, but he's also can be scoring, and I love that shot right there by him.
Nolan driving, had that one knocked out. A whistle going against the Flames. Now, there was the defensive play a moment ago. Look at that.
I mean, his eyes were just on the ball, locked in, good timing. Yeah, single coverage, nice little spin. Come back over your shoulder for the little 4-footer.
Foul went on Vincent. He'll check out.
Yeah, Keegan Nolan got a step on him, man. He was headed down the middle of the lane. Well, not a bad foul.
So Darius McGhee was out for the last couple of minutes. During that time, Liberty went on an 8-0 run. You can do that with him on the bench. That bodes well. Tough look, a whistle going against McDowell as Davis able to draw the foul and earn himself a couple of free throws.
Yeah, Tyrese Davis, full head of steam there. And you got to get out on him. He just hit a 3 right from that area a couple possessions back. This time he goes off the bounce. He's a tough assignment.
Yeah, he and McDowell both 6'6", but McDowell gives up about 30 pounds. Looks like we may have a little blood on Bryce Workman, so he'll head over to the sideline, try to get that taken care of.
That is not surprising.
No, yeah.
The way.
Maybe surprising it took this long.
That's right. It's been physical in the paint. It's been a good game. I'm not saying that. I like the way this game's been called. They're letting them bang in there.
Hey, appreciate it.
Both these teams are just fine playing this style of game as well.
Yeah.
This is what they want.
Yes, when you pride yourself on your defense, you don't mind contact, you don't mind some grittiness, and it's not for the faint of heart.
No. First free throw, a little too strong for Davis. Jordan Mincy calls him the Draymond Green of this team. Does everything. Young man that missed the 1920 season with a knee injury, came back last year, played well, 11.5 points per ball game, and keeping guys like him, Keegan Nolan, Bryce Workman, keeping that kind of group, that core intact, has allowed them to now have the success that they are this year.
Yeah, a lot of new guys, but he kept some real guys he could depend on, some key components in that.
Great feed in the lay-in. Shiloh Robinson setting up Isaiah Warfield for the bucket.
A perfect little give and go. Shiloh saw the defender's head turn on the pass. Backdoor cut by Zay Warfield. Nice finish. The
Flames have made their last 10 field goal attempts as that 3 rattles out. And the ball will go back to Liberty. And Isaiah Warfield, great cut.
Yep. Don't stand still, and Zay does a great job on the release of the pass. He saw his defender look away, backdoors him, nice finish.
McGhee handling the basketball, gives it to Warfield in the corner. He's feeling it, launched that 3 a little short, long rebound tapped out to McGhee. In rhythm, catch, fires, bang!
It doesn't matter where he is. Once he gets over half court, he is in range. Nice tip-out hustle play by Shiloh to keep the possession for Darius. Another
14 now for McGhee. Flames stretch that lead. And a denial. The block at one end. McGhee now handling the basketball, weaving through traffic, gives it to Rode. Warfield whips it to McDowell. Pump fake, frees himself up. Can't connect. And that'll go out of bounds and stay with Liberty. That'll get us to a timeout, but Darius McGhee putting on another show. 14 tonight, including that deep 3 just a moment ago.
Welcome back to Liberty Arena. The Flames on a 13-1 run. The storyline for tonight's game couldn't get much better. On one side, you have JU with the best scoring defense in the country, but then on Liberty's end, you have one of the best, most dynamic scorers in the country, and Darius McGhee, who's starting to heat up. But his threat isn't only scoring the basketball. Sometimes he likes to distribute it. So I said, is this like a rock, paper, scissors thing you decide before the game, Darius? And he goes, no, it's like a chess match. I was in chess club since about 5th grade on, and I treat basketball the same way. There's a lot of actions going on on. So there's counters to everything. That's why recognition is the biggest piece. You've got to be able to see and make decisions on the fly and have those answers in your back pocket.
Yeah, it's like Queen's Gambit if there were three-pointers involved. It's basically what it is. I mean,
it does not surprise me that Darius was in chess club.
the lob, Vincent catches it. Tough attempt, got it up on the rim, but off the mark.
Yeah, on something like that with the contest, you know, if you got the open lob, you take it. On that one, I wouldn't have hated if he just kind of gathered it, came down, and regrouped, and then went into his shot.
Nolan been pretty quiet tonight. He's got Vincent on him, the Flames' best perimeter defender, and now another whistle going against Liberty. It'll be foul number 2 on Shiloh Robinson.
Yeah, they're double in the post. I mean, you got to come over there strong and hard, but you got to, you know, you pick up kind of a little bit of a careless foul. And they're going to need Shiloh all night long tonight.
Nolan feeds that one into Workman. Battling against Kyle Road and gets it to fall. His second bucket of the night.
Yeah, Jacksonville needed a basket. I like that they went into the post. That's kind of how they started this game with great success. They send it into Workman, and he goes to work for 2.
We mentioned Joseph Vincent a little bit ago. The job he's doing as a defender for this team on the perimeter. I mean, just look back to Saturday. Against the leading scorer for FGCU, Dunmartin held him to 2 of 17 from the field. And he's locked up here tonight. We've seen it a couple possessions in a row now on Kevion Nolan, making life miserable.
Yeah, he's done such a good job. Again, a lot of that was overshadowed by Darius's 48, but night in, night out, Vincent has come in. He just loves it. He thrives on that defense. He loves shutting the opponent's best player down. He's athletic. He's got long arms. He's got a great head on his shoulder and just a competitor's heart. And he's got all the pieces to be just a lockdown defender. We're going to enjoy watching him for years to come, Matt.
A little pressure being shown now by Jacksonville. They'll start to drop out of it.
They're just showing the Flames something different. Give them something else to think about.
A couple of true freshmen on the floor now for Liberty, Vincent and Peebles. Peebles driving on Brown, whips it out. McDowell, open corner 3. That's pure. So McDowell, after his only scoreless game of the season on Saturday, has broken out tonight. 3 triples in the first half.
Yeah, 3 triples and some really other good play, some tough post play by Keegan. And Brody Peebles is just, I just love his decision making. He dribbles in there, seems to know what to do with it, when to score, when to pass. Oh, Darius got poked in the eye. He's kind of rubbing his
trying to shake that off. Has it top of the key, now dribbles out to Rhodes. 12 on the shot clock. Peebles in the corner, going to drive baseline, leave it to Vincent, who's fouled as he was rising. Another good find as Peebles has really facilitated well here tonight.
Yeah, he is doing some great things off of his penetration. And again, you got to honor him out beyond 3, but when he takes off on the bounce, man, his eyes are going. That time he finds Vincent for the little dump off, gets himself to the line.
That's the first free throw to fall. 2 points tonight for Vincent, freshman out of Midland, Texas. Jacksonville will get Osifo back into the ball game.
Again, Osifo and Workman trading time there. Looks like Marsh still has that ice bag on his wrist or hand.
Nolan hands it off. Jordan Davis driving on Peebles. Got that one to sit on the rim and fall through.
Yeah, Jacksonville does that little dribble exchange outside, kind of lull you to sleep. And that time Jordan Davis takes off with a full head of steam. Nice finish for the Dolphins.
Kyle Rowe picks up his dribble, looking for help, gets it out to McDowell. Over to Vincent, driving and an offensive foul. As sliding over with Tyrese Davis. Second personal foul on Vincent. He'll check out. 1:40 to go here in the first half. Liberty fell down early in this ball game. In fact, they trailed 16-5 at one point, but have kind of steadily pushed this lead of theirs out to double digits.
Yeah, turned up the defense, started hitting some shots.
Osifo working on McGhee B. Unable to connect.
Yeah, good D by McGhee B. Stayed right there, didn't get the arms down into him. Kept his body strong and his hands high.
Rowe whips it to the corner. Warfield thought about the three. Now gives it to McGhee. Oh, between the legs, step back. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
I am not surprised anymore. The kid is just ferocious.
You know what he's going to do. He does it to you anyway. And then at the other end, Keegan Nolan, his second three of the game, tries to quiet this Flames crowd.
Big answer right there by Keegan Nolan. That's a leader right there.
Kyle Rowe kicks to the corner. That one partially blocked. And Jacksonville can play for the last shot.
Yeah, they got a lot of Keegan's hand on that one. A little surprised at the no call.
Dolphins trying to see if they can't get a bucket going into the break.
Well, they got it in the right guy's hands. Look for maybe a ball screen.
Jordan Davis gives it back to Nolan. Three ball comes up short, long rebound, still loose, and finally the Flames come away with it, and that'll do it. As what, well, you half expected that to go down, didn't you? McGhee at the buzzer.
Wow, what a half of basketball, Matt.
So the Flames head to the break, leading by 10. Darius McGhee not cooling off in the least. 17 first half points, including 4 3-pointers, as he helped ignite this Flames offense here in the first half. Standing by right now with Richie McKay, Emily Austin.
Coach Jay, you jumped out to an early lead, but what was the biggest reason and factor for your team to turn it around to take this 10-point lead into the half?
We have Darius McGhee. I mean,
that helps.
He's a really good offensive player, but I think we kind of anticipated them coming out with a lot of energy. They have a good team. They play good defense. And we just stayed the course. And it's a 40-minute game, though.
Serious question. Do you get surprised by any of Darius McGhee's makes at this point in your coaching career with him?
No.
That was a no, Matt Warner, if you couldn't hear him.
Yeah, simple, quick, to the point, and he's pretty thrilled with what he's seen from number 2 here so far tonight. Don't know how you stop him, but Jacksonville will have halftime to try to figure it out. Back to Lynchburg in a moment. Back in Lynchburg, halftime, Liberty on top of Jacksonville, 40-30. And as we talked early on about, we expect this to be a really defensive slugfest. Both these offenses shot over 50% from the field. Is this the style of game you expected to see here so far tonight?
Yes, in the fact that, both teams have great defenses. We talked about, maybe we didn't highlight the offensive teams, but both of them are very capable teams. But what you have at play there is pride. You got 2 3-0 teams that are fighting with everything they had. That's what makes it such a great half so far.
Take a look at the first half highlights, and it started with Jacksonville coming out really strong. We mentioned a 16-5 lead right out of the gate, and it started with the big men. Osifo, Marsh was good early before the thumb injury knocked him out.
Yeah, they really got a lot of touches. They were purposeful in getting the bigs touches, and then defensively, they really made it tough on Liberty early.
They did. You saw some turnovers, 5 in the first half for the Flames. Some led to points like that one. But then again, you have Darius McGhee, and that's kind of the ultimate equalizer when you've got him on your team. And if you ever start heating up about 5 minutes into the ballgame.
Matt, the Flames were back on their heels. They got punched in the mouth by the Dolphins, and they needed something to happen. So who steps up? Your leader, Darius McGhee, unfazed, unflappable. He started hitting shots, and then everybody else joined in.
17 first half points for McGhee. Taking a look now at the first half stats presented by Carter Bank and Trust. Both teams an identical 13 of 24 from the field. I don't know what that means. If anything, it's just interesting.
It means we got 2 good teams battling. Now, of course, the Jacksonville was hot early. Flames got hot late. But look, you see how evenly matched it is right there. I think the only difference is 17 points by Darius McGhee. I said you got to try to limit him They did not do that in the first half.
Yeah.
But again, it's 2 halves of basketball. If you're Jacksonville, you got to just do whatever you can do to bother him, not let other guys get going. And then, again, if you're Jacksonville, go back inside.
Right.
You had success there with the bigs. I think that's where they need to go.
Yeah, that seems to be, if they have an advantage, that seems to be
That's
where
right.
they have it. We'll see if they follow Naz's advice here in half number 2. When we come back, we'll take a look around the A-Sun and some of the other scores going on and update you on the A-Sun standings. Halftime in Lynchburg, Liberty leading Jacksonville 40-30. Taking a look at some of the A-Sun weekly awards. Kind of an easy choice. When a guy scores 48 points, you kind of know where you're going in terms of who deserves player of the week. So we'll just go ahead and tell you that. There's not much drama here. Darius McGhee, he is the player of the week. You know, he averaged 33 points per game over the 2 games and scored 48. That'll get it done. And then another guy who's on the floor here tonight and has looked good early, Osai Osifo, newcomer of the week. He had a double-double against North Florida, 13 and 13 in that ball game. So a couple of guys that are playing well here this evening, racking up a weekly award.
Yeah, we get to see Darius all the time, but I really like Osifo. I really love his game. He's athletic. He's the energizer out there. You see him talking, getting his teammates fired up, and he's a really great defender as well. He's having a big game. He needs a good second half here for the Dolphins.
Take a look around the A-Sun tonight. The A-Sun scoreboard, some games in action. Monday, Kennesaw State held on to beat North Florida. Boy, the Ospreys just feel like they're snake bit this season as they've yet to win a conference game. FGCU handing it to Stetson right now. Dunn Martin playing well. Thrilled not to see Joseph Vincent tonight. He's lighting it up. And Eastern Kentucky looking for their first conference win as well. All right, when we return, Naz's notes. Stick around. Well, the 2022 football season will be the most exciting home schedule in Liberty history. Virginia Tech and BYU will be visiting Williams Stadium, and season ticket demand will be at an all-time high. Visit lufootball.com for more information and to purchase your season tickets. All right, time now for Naz's notes, breaking down a play from the first half.
I'm going to show you a really good offensive possession here by Jacksonville. You know, they had some good success in the post early, and so what you're going to see is they're going to look in to the post, try to get the post to touch and see what develops. Now, Liberty, on the other hand, when the post goes in there, when the ball goes in there, Liberty loves to double the post and make them kick it out. You're going to see good patience by Jacksonville.
Right,
they throw it in there actually a couple times, and they do a good job of not forcing anything.
Bird, I got it.
But on the second time, when it goes in, you'll see a great skip pass. Shiloh Robinson a little late.
Coach, you guys were clicking on all cylinders to start the game. What does your team need to get back to in order to win this game in the second half?
Tyrese Davis. Shiloh a little late getting there, but that is good patience on the offensive side by Jacksonville. And really, if it hadn't been for that shot going in, it was good defense for Liberty. You're just seeing 2 great teams battle tonight.
Here in this first meeting with the It's a stretch that defensively he's not real thrilled about there, but his team is fighting hard and they're in the ballgame.
Yeah, and the way they took the court, I mean, they were unfazed there and just came out and gave Liberty a punch in the mouth.
Emily caught up with Coach Mincy a moment ago.
Coach, you guys were clicking on all cylinders to start the game. What does your team need to get back to in order to win this game in the second half?
You know what, I think we did a great job coming out at first, but we got in a little foul trouble, and so it hurt us on the offensive end. But we also had breakdown defensively. You know, Liberty does an unbelievable job of moving without the ball, and they got us, you know, they got us turning our heads on defense. And so we got to lock in on the defensive side of the ball, and then just got to execute on the offensive side.
Looks like Darius McGhee picked up right where he left off from FGCU. You know he's a dynamic scorer. You know you can't stop him. How do you slow him down?
You got to slow him down. As we spoke on earlier, he's such a dynamic player. And so you're trying to give him different looks, but you know how it is. When you have a special talent, especially scoring the ball, oftentimes they don't care what kind of defense you do. You know, so we got to do a better job, but not necessarily locking in on him, but locking in on his teammates as well.
Thanks for your time. Best of luck in the second half. Matt, guys, just an update. Mike Marsh is available for Jacksonville in the second half.
Yeah, and he's out there right now in the opening minutes here in half number 2, and that is a boost for them.
Yeah, he's got that thumb wrapped, and
speaking of a boost, Keegan McDowell has been one for the Flames tonight. 4 threes. He's got 12.
and they really, again, just Darius can't do it all. I know the other night
it seems like it at times.
but he needs some help, and Keegan is really playing so well tonight.
Look at Shiloh Robinson, a physical rebound up over the top of Marsh.
Yeah, here's the thing, Jacksonville both times have gone into
look out.
Have gone into the post, which I like. I like that they've come out of the locker room, going right back into the bigs. Darius says, I'm only human, guys.
Yeah,
like,
slightly off target.
Every now and then, I'm entitled to just make a little bit of an error.
Photographers scatter as that one sails their way.
Yeah, that's some heat on it.
And now Kyle Rode having a shoe problem as he's trying to get it untied, put back on. Well, this Jacksonville team, we mentioned a lot of newcomers so far tonight. They have 10 in total on this roster. That's the 7th most in the country.
Yeah.
And you see they've gotten them from a variety of places.
I'm telling you, Matt, that's a lot for any team. You want to try to go get some guys, but the job that Coach Mincy has done to get that group to unify and buy in on the defensive end, oh my gosh, what a task. So that, I mean, just an excellent to commit guys.
That ball deflected, so no over and back. Nolan keeps possession.
To get guys to commit to your school and then to commit on the defensive end.
And now the offensive foul on Tyrese Davis.
And you mentioned Keegan, the night he's having offensively, Matt. That's the second charge he's taken tonight. Man, he's throwing his body around.
Yeah, I think about it. The steal he had, where he snatched the pass out of midair as well. So yeah, he has. A lot of times, as we said, giving up some size, he has really battled hard and played well on the defensive end of the court. Inside to Shiloh Robinson, who lays it in off the window.
Really nice little slip screen there. They overplayed Darius, and while the attention was there, Shiloh cut to the basket. Nice dish by Kyle Rode to Shiloh for the finish.
Nice crowd on hand here tonight, including former Flame Elijah Cuffey. Talked to him before the game. He said he's actually cutting hair right now. He said, Keegan McDowell, I did that haircut, and I'd say whatever he did, Keegan should probably keep getting that before every game because he is shooting it well here tonight, whether it's the haircut or what, I'm not sure.
He's got the fresh cut for the fresh game, man. Tonight he is on fire.
Good to see Cuff back in the building. One of the great Flames in recent years. One of the better defenders they've had in the Richie McKay era, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, you hear all this NBA talk about Cade Cunningham now having a good year in the NBA. I just still remember he just gave him fits in that NCAA tournament game.
Tied up, possession arrow pointed to Liberty, and it has been all pointing towards Liberty so far here in half number 2. And that first half wasn't too shabby for the Flames either. Those 40 points Liberty scored in the first half, the most Jacksonville has allowed in a half this season.
Yeah.
Previous high 38 against Pitt.
That's an accomplishment. Again, this team prides itself on their defense.
He gets a little space. That's all he needs.
Man, there was just, I mean, that was a great contest by Davis. I think Darius put just a little more arc on that shot, Matt.
You think you have him guarded?
Yes. You got to be over there shaking your head going, there's literally nothing else we can do.
An 8-0 run for the Flames to begin the second half. Osifo.
Oh, nice D by
Good
Shiloh.
defense by Robinson. The offensive board kicked out. 3 in rhythm. That rattles out. Dolphins need to find some offense and quick. This one could get out of hand.
Yeah, they really are trying to go to the bigs. Osifo gets a good look, but just Shiloh just shut it down.
McGhee from way downtown, off the mark. This crowd let out a huge groan. They were ready to erupt.
think I might have jumped out of my seat on that one.
Good feed inside, and there's Marsh getting his first bucket of the second half.
Yeah, Keegan Nolan right there. Nice job. He stretched the defense out, pulled the big away. Hard to recover that quickly. And then a nice dump down in the post.
Kyle Rode has it on the wing, initiating the offense here, hands it off. McDowell.
Liberty's got to be careful not just to stand and wait for Darius to do something. You got to keep moving, keep spacing. Yeah.
And a foul committed by Jacksonville.
Yeah, Marsh went over to kind of trap the ball down against the baseline, but just went too aggressively and just sort of knocked Kyle Rode over. But back to my point, Matt, like, again, Darius has done some great things. He's always a threat, but you can't stand and watch. You got to move, always be a threat.
Keegan McDowell is definitely a threat tonight. 5 threes for the redshirt senior out of Cincinnati.
Caught the Dolphins sleeping on that inbounds pass. He just quickly dove to the corner. Kyle Rode just sees the floor so well. Great pass, great inbounds pass.
6 assists now for Kyle Rode. 1 off his season high. Davis hanging, and that one partially blocked by Van Zandt.
That's that reach.
And now Van Zandt gets the body up into Keegan Nolan, and will send him to the line for 2.
And that's tough because it was a scramble on the shot block, but great defense by Van Zandt. Straight up, great long arms, blocks it, and then it's just kind of a scramble. Gets a little bit off balance, but
free throw around and through for Nolan. Yeah, you think back to even that FGCU game for Van Zandt. There was the play where he went under the screen, and still was able to get out and block the three-pointer.
Yeah. Some of that's his arms, and some of that's that, athletic ability and his leaping ability. But yeah, that was a tough one. Under the screen, high contest, and got a piece of that.
Van Zandt has a seat. McGhee joins him as Brody Peebles checks in for Liberty along with Isaiah Warfield.
All right, Dolphins bring a little pressure now. You got to be ready for a jump. And here it is. Nolan comes across, and Flames beat it.
Rode working on Osifo. Handing off to Peebles. Baseline finds the cutting Warfield. Couldn't get it to fall. Another good find from Brody Peebles, who did a great job in the first half of creating for teammates.
Great cut to the basket by Zay Warfield. I know he feels bad. He'll finish those.
Pass down low. Workman pump fake. Got Blake Preston in the air and then laid it in on the other side of the rim.
All right, they're going to keep this pressure on now. Looks man-to-man, but then as you get over half court, you got to be ready for a jump from somewhere else.
Rode using the screen from Preston. Peebles now on the wing. 10 on the shot clock. Preston at the free throw line, gets it out to Rode. He'll launch the 3. Bang! Kyle Rode with his first triple of the night. He's got 5.
That's smooth. That's smooth. Running offense tonight. Kyle's been dishing the ball beautifully. But again, he's got to be a scorer out there. He's too good not to shoot the ball.
Flames have made 5 of their first 7 shots here in the second half, and now come away with the steal.
That was a beautiful example of how you double the post. Keegan came over and covered up the backside to poke it away.
McDowell, pump fake. Now gives it up to Rode. He's feeling it, top of the key. That goes down. Back-to-back triples for Kyle Rode.
You talk about trusting your teammates. As hot as Keegan McDowell's been, he gives it up to Kyle Rode for another 3. Man, gotta love your teammates.
The Flames stretching this lead and starting to run away. Dolphins need an answer and quick. Nolan. Strong on the 3. Osifo the offensive rebound. Nolan now driving, and they're going to get a block on Warfield as wasn't quite able to get in front. Kyle Rode starting to come alive offensively in the second half. Back-to-back 3s has pushed this Liberty lead to 21. Well, I don't know if Darius will get the opportunity to get 40 here tonight, but he's done it twice this season as you take a look And all the guys have multiple 40-point games in a season. Bailey Alston, who had the single game record of 46. Ed Vickers, who I believe was part of that NCAA national championship team. He could go and get a bucket or two, and then Darius McGhee.
Bailey, again, my friend and former teammate, Bailey Alston. I mean, we saw him just flat out fill it up. But here's the difference, Matt. Darius is doing it against much higher level of competition defensively. I mean, his 41 is against Stanford. I mean, his 48 the other night. I mean, again, those are great guys in Flames history, but Darius is taking this thing to a new level.
He on the court right now with 20 so far to his name. Kyle Road gives it to Peebles, lost the handle, and it will stay with Liberty.
Yeah, that's a tough pass. Sometimes you'll see that backdoor be a bounce pass. It gives the receiver a little bit more time to pick it up. That thing was in the air. Brody couldn't handle it, but it goes off I think it was Davis, Jordan Davis.
McGhee fouled on the three-point attempt, nearly banked it in. Instead, he'll just go to the line for 3 free throws. Second time tonight he's been fouled on a three-point attempt.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, he's got 20, and the focus is on him. Guys are running at him. That time, he kind of gets sandwiched between two guys, and Tyrese Davis just shaking his head going, man, what else can we do?
Yeah, the issue is, too, because, you know, some guys you think, all right, run them off the three-point line. Worst case, maybe you give up 2 instead of 3. But we've seen tonight, McGhee, even when you are right up into him, he'll still pull it over the top of you.
A lot of times he'll be going off the dribble. Tonight, he has just flat out pulled up in people's eye. But the other thing that helps is when Darius gets on the bounce, he's got other guys spotting up. We've seen Kyle Road hit a couple. We've seen Keegan hit 3 tonight.
Jacksonville outscored 20-6 to open the second half. This has been a statement thus far for the Flames as we get an offensive foul. Brody Peebles standing in there. He has developed a knack, Naz, as a very young player.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody on the Liberty staff is tracking this. I swear he gets a charge a game.
Yeah, he does. I think he's deceptively quick. He moves his feet, he hustles and gets himself beating guys to the spot. But here's the thing, you can be a great offensive player.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta be kidding me. Bucket, the foul, a chance for a 4-point play. There is no stopping Darius McGhee.
Darius says, home crowd, I'll bring you some sauce.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, you liked what you saw in FGCU, here's a little something more.
And the crowd is up on their feet. How can you not be? I mean, incredible. Again, guys are running at him because you're just trying to do anything to stop them, sending them to the line. My goodness.
27 for Darius McGhee. He'll have a seat. Richie McKay said after the 48-point performance, essentially, cherish these moments.
You're right.
Enjoy these moments. He is a special player, the likes of which you may not see again.
Yeah, Matt, he makes it look so easy. You don't realize what he's doing out there against bigger people with the whole focus of a team to stop you.
He's at the top of every scouting report, and he's still doing what he's doing.
Yeah, people are running different defenses at him. Big guys, small guys, double teams. And he's answered the bell every single time so far.
That bucket from Workman snapped a Liberty 13-0 run.
The Flames being deliberate on offense.
And we got a kick basketball. Is that got a little sloppy in the lane there? They'll stay with Liberty.
Yeah, Brody again. When he goes in there, I really like what he's thinking, he's looking. I think he kind of looks for a pass. If not, he's got that nice little floater too.
Peebles has the top of the key, 12 on the shot clock. Now kicks it out. McDowell, deep 3. Comes up short, battle for the rebound, snatched by Marsh. Well, you got under 12 minutes to go here. Liberty running away. If you're Jacksonville right now, what's the mindset, Naz?
Well, the mindset is, you can't just abandon what you want to do. You got guys that can penetrate, and you got guys that can go in the post. So you still got time, but you really got to get stops on the other end.
Listen, everybody's scoring tonight. If you can get the jersey on correctly, the buckets are falling for the Flames, including for this young fella who got it to go here during the timeout. Nice. We mentioned the three-point defense for Jacksonville, holding teams to 27%. In fact, in their last game against UNF, they held the Ospreys to 3 of 25 from deep. Liberty shooting 57%, 13 of 23. Incredible. For more on Jacksonville head coach Jordan Mincy, let's check in once again with Emily.
Yeah, you look at those stats and the difference. You know, back to shoot around, Coach Mincy said that he was pretty upset with his guys and the way they came out and shoot around. And he said, I feel like this might be a humbling experience for us and might get us back on track. You have to be hungry. You have to be hungry, but you also have to be humble, and it looks like they're pretty humble tonight.
Yeah, he did say that. It was, as that three goes down, why not for Keegan McDowell, his 6th of the night. Kind of a transparent for Coach Mincy to say that. He was pretty upfront about like that. That may not be the worst thing.
Right, that's great perspective from Coach Mincy, but I liked how his guys took the floor. They were fired up, man. Osifo was talking and getting them fired up. They went into the post and they really put it on Liberty. So I think they had a good perspective. I just think they ran into a little guy named Darius McGhee.
That follow attempt, no good. Fight for the rebound. Somehow gathered it again, still loose, knocked out of bounds, and it will go to the Flames. Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know. I don't put so much of this on, boy, Jacksonville isn't for real or Jacksonville isn't a good team. I think they are. But listen,
I agree.
This Liberty squad, and maybe people are underrating them a little bit based off what they've been the last few years, but you're seeing what the ceiling could look like for Liberty when everybody's clicking.
Yes, you're seeing the depth, you're seeing the experience. I mean, again, we talked about Keegan McDowell's story coming back to this program. How valuable is he?
Yeah.
My man's unconscious tonight.
Speaking of, why not? Another one. Seven three-pointers, 7 of 9 from deep for Keegan McDowell. That's a new career high, surpassing 6 against Delaware State earlier this year.
And what a big step up for him. I mean, it's like, you know, Darius is going to be coming off that 48. They're going to lock into him, and man, Keegan has just done a huge job shooting tonight. And again, let's not forget his defense as well.
George Bridget just checked in, the freshman out of Boston, gets that 3 to fall. He's shot 50% from 3 on the season. See if he can spark this offense.
Yeah, they're staying with that full court pressure. You watch, they're going to have to kind of turn it up pretty soon here. It's been kind of token pressure, but time's clicking away on the Dolphins here.
10 on the shot clock. Preston hangs, gives it up to Warfield underneath and lays it in on the other side of the rim.
Wow. Blake Preston, we talk a lot, Matt, about the bigs and their passing ability on this Liberty team. That time, I love how Preston, he puts it on the floor. A couple guys come to him. Nice find to a cutting Zay Warfield.
Zay Warfield has had one of his best games of the season tonight.
He really has, Matt.
2 baskets. He's had a couple other decent looks. A guy that just brings energy and defensive effort, starting to find himself
starting to find his offense, right? He's making some nice basket cuts. Guys are finding him for lay-ins.
Gallo thought about launching and said gives it up to Preston underneath, bodies in and draws the foul on Osifo.
Yeah, got himself a little too deep, got pinned under there, but hey, when you're in trouble, force it up there. It's a wise move. Gets Osifo's arms leaning and gets himself to the free throw line.
Blake, we mentioned, out the last couple of games. He's played 9 minutes tonight, 4 points, couple of rebounds. And with more on Blake, we check in with Emily Austin.
Yeah, Matt, when you look at how much he's been on the floor this season, Blake Preston is averaging about 4 minutes less a game than last year. When asked Coach McGhee about this, he said, I trust Blake Preston. To his credit, I don't think many players could have handled a decrease in minutes like he has, especially the way he's been practicing and playing. When he does get on the floor, he's earned more minutes than he's received, but sometimes it's all about matchups.
Yeah, and tonight's the perfect example. I was hoping he'd get back. He was under the weather there for about a week. I was hoping to get back because I knew Jacksonville's bigs were going to require his presence, and Blake had done a great job tonight, some scoring and defensively and rebounding.
DJ Moore checking in for Liberty for the first time tonight, number 13. So Flames starting to go a little deeper down that bench. Darius McGhee also back out on the court. 10 seconds on the shot clock. They go inside to Marsh. That jumper goes down. Wow, didn't know he had that in the bag of tricks, but he gets it to fall. 8 points for Mike Marsh.
Yeah, we saw Marsh. I'm glad he's out there. I didn't know what that injury was to the thumb, but yeah, I mean, he's a big, strong body inside, but showing off a little bit of 10-foot range there.
McGhee spinning himself free, weaving through traffic, gives it up to Preston. Pump fakes 2, 3 times, and then able to draw the foul. And that'll get us to a timeout. Well, Jacksonville hadn't allowed 70 points all season long. They've given up 74 with just under 8 minutes to go in the ballgame.
This presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Foster Fuels, turn up the heat, and by Carter Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Keegan McDowell's 21 points are going to get most of the headlines, but as you talked about the work he's doing on the defensive end tonight.
Yeah, he's had a tough matchup sometimes. He got matched up that time on their big fella, and he took the charge. That time moving his feet, keeping Tyrese Davis, and then when he just snatched him, he's able to, he just loved that. But I mean, he was just so locked in on that ball, man. He just went on the pass, just snatched it out of midair. But I mean, we talk a lot about hitting threes and Darius and Keegan but you don't get minutes in this program if you don't play defense.
Right.
And every guy, top to bottom, buys in. It's hard, it's grueling, it's gritty, but that's their identity too. That's who they are. They love it. And they were on the ropes, and it had to come from the defense. They got stops. They turned that into shots. Darius caught fire. Keegan caught fire. And, man, they've been off and running ever since.
Liberty this half shooting 10 of 13 from the field. That's 77%, including 8 of 10 from three-point range. It has all been working here in half number 2. And this one went from tight game early on. Liberty got a 10-point lead at the half, but Jacksonville still, no, it was over quick.
Yep. Tough defense, stops, one and dones, and then down the other end, some just real precision offense. Man, how many backdoor cuts for lay-ins did we see? Or just ball movement to threes.
Well, you always talk about assists next. Now we're at 18 assists on 23 made baskets.
How about that?
They're sharing the rock. That three-pointer off the mark, the rebound to Preston. A lot of times you think with a guy like Darius McGhee, it's probably a lot of hero ball.
One-on-one, shake and bake.
Not the case.
No.
DJ Moore getting some action here late in this ball game. A freshman that they like a lot. Look at Blake Preston. Oh, the spin. That got pinned to the glass. Bryce Workman. Looked like it was fairly clean up top, but got him with the body. So Blake Preston heads back to the free throw line. Blake tonight, 8 points, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Maybe he spent the last weeks practicing free throws.
When you're under the weather and you can't run up and down, you get to a free throw line and just shoot shots.
The next 5 for Liberty. Hey, they go on the road Thursday, so 2 days. They play the other unbeaten team in the ASUN East Division, Kennesaw State, 3-0. How good are they playing this year? How different is their program than it was just a couple of seasons ago? That'll be a good test.
Yeah, Coach Abdur Rahim, I mean, he's been bringing in guys little by little, making some noise. I think they finally put it all together down there at Kennesaw. They are playing very well.
At the same time, if you're Liberty and you're able to hand Jacksonville a loss here tonight, if you're able to go and do the same to Kennesaw, suddenly you're right back in the driver's seat where you've been the last 3 years, the only unbeaten in that division of the ASUN, and you put yourself in a really good spot.
Absolutely. So you've got to take care of business here. You know, there's still minutes on the clock, but then when you wrap one up here and you get, man, you ought to be primed and just chomping at the bit to go down there and match up with the other undefeated team and just say, we're gonna make a statement. There's been some noise in the conference this year, but go down there and make a statement that Liberty's still on top.
Right now, Liberty is one of the only things going as expected in the A-Sun Conference. Everything else has been just bizarre at times.
Yeah.
That 3-ball, Pridgett, good stroke.
Second shot, second 3 from Pridgett.
Freshman averages about 5 points a ball game. We may take another look at that A-Sun scoreboard a little later. Some of those games are getting to the late stages, but I can tell you there's some interesting things going on around the league even tonight.
Yeah, you pull up the ticker, it's like a roulette wheel. You don't know what you're going to see.
Lake Preston.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
And that will stay with Liberty with 5 on the shot clock. There, you know, there's the most interesting man in the world. Blake might be the most patient man in the world. He is not in any hurry when he catches the ball down there.
There's a little bit of a danger. I mean, you want to be patient. You want to back your guy down. But at some point, you know, you got guards that are going to come down there and poke it away.
And a foul called on Giassi Powell in the paint.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. But all right, let's take a look around the conference right now. A-Sun games in action. FGCU and Stetson locked in a tight one. Eastern Kentucky looks like they'll finally pick up their first conference win. Who guessed it would take this long?
Yeah.
How about what's going on? What's going on with Central Arkansas? I don't know what's brewing there in Conway.
Listen,
but they were not expected to be this good.
We don't know who they are. I don't think they know who they are. I mean, and listen, you
may not want them to remember the way they're playing. Just do what you're doing.
You come into a new conference, you're trying to feel teams out, you know, and get adjusted. But they played really well on times. Other times they have not. It's just up and down. Some people would say that's college basketball. When you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds.
Well, Liberty will head there on Saturday. They go back-to-back road contests. Powell pulls up for the long 2, rattles out.
Yeah, Liberty get to play on that gray court. They got that kind of gray and purple court. Really kind of cool.
Kyle Road drives, gets into Vincent, lays it off the rim. Couldn't quite get that one to crawl home.
And nice find by Kyle.
Powell creates some space. That one did everything but go down, and Road pulls the rebound. Kyle Road tonight, 7 assists, 5 rebounds to go along with 8 points.
Liberty does such a great job, Matt, of when one guy's dribbling, other guys don't stand. They cut to the basket. They lose sight of their defender. And again, every one of these guys in white can just pass the ball so well.
Kaya B gives it to Vincent, off the window for 2. There's a set play there that they ran to perfection.
Yeah, Micaiah B, reverse dribble, comes back the other side. Vincent, just a hesitation, pause, and then he goes. Just what we were talking about.
4.5 to go in the ball game. Marsh has it in the post. Double team comes, looking for help.
Oh, good job.
He won't find it.
Great hustle by DJ Moore.
DJ Moore diving out of bounds, able to save it.
Well, the double went, and DJ was hustling already just to get in his help position, and then made a great extra effort to dive out of bounds and save the ball.
Shiloh Robinson, he had thoughts of throwing that down. Didn't quite get the handle first as it goes out of bounds. Big hand now for the Flames as Jonathan Jackson checks in along with Steven Berggraf.
Yeah, Coach getting some of these other guys in, and man, what an effort by Liberty tonight. I'm telling you, Jacksonville took this court up 16-5 in command. Really had Liberty in a position they'd not been in all year. And they responded to the call.
I mean, it had a little bit of a feel like big brother, little brother, where, you know, let me just remind you who's in charge of this conference. 3 straight championships.
Yeah, we ain't going down.
For the Flames.
We're not going down that easy.
That's right. Let's just remind you what it takes to win at that level, and Liberty put it on them tonight. Brody Peebles spots up, bang.
Especially in this arena. I think they got the win streak going.
43 straight, about to be 44.
No, we're not letting you come in here on that as the newcomer on the block. Yes, you're having a good year, but takes a lot more to knock off the champ.
We're approaching a little bit later this month the 3-year anniversary of the last time Liberty lost in Lynchburg. Almost 3 full calendar years. Powell off the mark. McGhee grabs the rebound. There you go. Only Gonzaga is better. We keep waiting for them to drop one. They haven't. Mark Few and the boys haven't helped Liberty out yet.
That may be a while.
Yeah, it might. It might. But this Liberty team has been so good at home, and we talked last time, the average margin of victory is well over 20 points in those games too. They have just been flat out dominant here in Lynchburg.
Yeah, and of all the things, Matt, the game down at we'll hit that when we come back.
Yeah, we'll get it here in a moment. All Liberty, 2:41 to go. Flames in control. Well, the A-Sun's heating up. The Flames battle North Alabama on Thursday, January 27th, 7 Eastern. Coach McGhee needs Flames Nation in the stands for this one. Visit lubasketball.com to purchase your tickets today. And that's the scary thing, Naz. We've seen a couple of great crowds in this building this year. If you start packing this place out, that home court advantage becomes even greater.
Yeah, and tonight the crowd was really engaged and really gave Liberty some boost. Got on Jacksonville a little bit, which is always fun.
Whistler going against Liberty. You saw the next 5 games for Jacksonville. Listen, it's not getting a lot easier. Yeah. You're staying on the road for your next 2. So, listen, Coach Mincy's going to find out some things about this team when you go 3 straight on the road. Bellarmine, we know how good they are.
That's right.
Kennesaw State, we talk about the start they've had in conference play.
And Lipscomb is, I'm going to say, capable. They are.
I don't know what they are.
They're inconsistent, Matt. They're inconsistent. But you look at that roster, and you know when they are clicking, they are a very good team. So there's 3 games in a row for the Dolphins where they're going to be tested.
Clock ticks down towards 2 minutes to go in this ball game. McGhee handling the basketball, working on Rod Brown. B lowers the shoulder and able to draw the foul. They'll head to the line for a couple. For a B, like he was starting to find himself in Hawaii there offensively. Then missed a couple of games and was scoreless on 6 shots against FGCU on Saturday. But boy, you know the talent that is there with that young man. All right, we talk about the A-Sun. We talk about just the craziness of it on the season. You take a look at the standings. Liberty will move to 4-0 and again play Kennesaw State in 2 days. Eastern Kentucky looks like they're about to get their first conference win. It just, some of the teams you've grown to expect to be there, like you mentioned Lipscomb, the inconsistency.
Yeah.
I guess maybe we just keep thinking back to Lipscomb a few years ago and comparing them to those special teams that they had. But boy, I kind of thought we'd get a little bit more out of them this season. That hasn't been the case.
Yeah, you just every night you got to show up. There are no off nights.
DJ Moore handling it, kicks it out, 3 ball for Jackson. That rims off. That's kind of, he likes those corner 3s. Couldn't get that one to fall. 9 different players have scored tonight for Liberty. As the Flames over a minute away from closing this one out. Foul committed by Berggraf. You know, you always hear, coaches say, you take care of your business at home, you go 500 on the road. You hear that in some different sports. I think for Liberty, what you're seeing though is you go on the road, you grind, you battle. They've come away with some close wins. Then they come back home and you see just maybe how big that gap, like how much better they are in this building and just how much better they are maybe than the rest of the league when they're here in Lynchburg.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, case in point, FGCU, they're down here. It's a 2-possession game, and again, down at halftime. But here, again, with a very good, vastly improved Jacksonville team. I mean, rubber was hitting the road there in the middle of the first half, and you see when they get clicking, this team has everything it needs. to put another championship run together.
Yeah, and you're seeing some of those young players continue to improve and evolve throughout this season, which is impressive as well. Now that we're into conference play, guys like Peebles, guys like Vinzant, they continue to get better and make a bigger impact game to game.
Yeah, guys are building confidence. Coaches trusting them in different settings and different roles.
DJ Moore to the rim, that's goaltend, as he was able to get to the bucket.
Yeah, nice take there by DJ Moore. A little hesitation and all the way to the cup. And again, you get a blowout win like this, Matt. They're resting guys.
Right.
Guys are getting rested legs over there, and guys out on the court are getting experienced minutes.
Darius McGhee played only 23 minutes. Scored 27 while he was out there. As the Flames fans serenade this Jacksonville squad.
They got a lot to be proud of. I mean, this is a very good Jacksonville team. They've got a great balance inside, outside.
Brown fading away, no, and that's gonna do it. Jacksonville shoots 25% from the field in the second half. Liberty outscores them 48-19 in the second half as they pull away for an impressive win, 88-49 the final. Naz, a Liberty win would not have been surprising. A Liberty win maybe in this dominant of a fashion. Wow.
Yeah. Again, I think it took a little smack, a little wake-up call, but Liberty responded so well. Again, great offense, Darius, Keegan, but I'm most proud of the way they locked down defensively and pushed out this lead.
So for Paul Naskin, I'm Matt Warner saying so long from Lynchburg, where the final score is Liberty 88, Jacksonville 49. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.